Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. So, we are back after a very, very long time. And yes, we were dealing with some things, and now we are back. So, this is what important is. Now, let's start with what we were doing and where we left off. So, today we are going to start with current affairs. These are current affairs are for 2nd December. Now, when we talk about current affairs, this particular current affairs, and we wish everyone, to revise these current affairs on regular basis and watch the videos again and again so that you can have a good grasp on what you are understanding and what you are studying. So, the first thing that we're going to study today is going to be current affairs from the point of view of governance, right? And this is an issue which has been in the news for quite a long time, and so many things have happened on this issue. So, it's very important for us to understand this issue as a in a holistic manner and to grasp every major aspect of it that can be asked in the exam. So let's start with this. The first current affairs that we're going to study is the Places of Worship Act, Special Provisions Act 1991, related provisions, the role of judiciary in protecting secularism. So now everyone knows that secular word was added in the constitution when Indira Gandhi was a prime minister, right? So now we have to also understand how this emanates to this topic, what we're going to study now, and the current affairs that we're going to study now. So this is related to your governance part. Now, why is this in news? Is Places of Worship Act, Special Provisions Act 1991. Now, the Places of Worship Act, which preserves the religious character of places of worship, remains contentious amid ongoing legal challenges. The Shahi Jama Masjid dispute in Sambhal, Uttar Pradesh, has reignited debates over the act's applicability. Now, what is Shahi Jama Masjid dispute? What is the dispute? We have to understand कि dispute है क्या. Now, what is the background is petitioners claim that the 16th century Jama Masjid in Sambhal was built on the site of ancient Harihar Mandir, that is a Hindu temple. Now constructed around 1528 by Mir Hindu Beg, a general under Mughal Emperor Babur, the mosque featured distinct stone masonry with a dome and arches differing from other Mughal mosques made of red sandstone. So we know why this is different, right? So we understood that this is different. Now, its history and architecture have led to a speculation. This is still a speculation unless and until ASI proves it to be true, about ties to earlier structures, including a possible Hindu temple. This mirrors similar disputes in Varanasi, Mathura, and Dhar. Petitioners have sought a survey to determine the site's historical and religious character. And why? Now let's understand what is the judiciary. How is the judiciary involved in this? The Sambhal District Court ordered a peaceful survey to verify claims. However, second survey resulted in violent clashes. Legal status of the mosque. The Shahi Jama Masjid is protected under the Ancient Monuments Preservation Act 1904. So there is an act that is protecting the mosque as well. It is listed by the Archaeological Survey of India as a monument of national importance. Shahi Jama Masjid and Places of Worship Act 1991. The Places of Worship Special Provisions Act is at the center of this dispute. Now, this act stipulates that the religious character of places of worship as they existed on 15th August 1947 कि जो places of worship थी उनका religious character जो है वो intact रहेगा. As it was on 15 अगस्त 1947. जो 15 अगस्त 1947 को था वो ही उसका religious character रहेगा उस जगह का. It must be preserved and prohibits any changes to the religious identity of such places. The Shahi Jama Masjid dispute challenges the Act's provisions by seeking to alter the mosque's religious character. So now, why is this a contentious issue? Because this dispute directly challenges this Act's provision by seeking to alter the mosque religious character. एक mosque का एक religious character होता है that it has been a mosque since 15th August 1947. But people are also correct in saying that there might be again speculation about it being a Hindu temple, and these speculations might be correct. So then we have to maintain a balance between what is right and what is wrong. Now, let us look at what we are saying is what is the Places of Worship Special Provisions Act 1991. So, let's understand this act. The Places of Worship Act 1991 aims to preserve the religious status of places of worship, preventing conversions between different religious denominations or within the same denomination. The act seeks to maintain communal harmony by freezing the religious character of these places and preventing disputes over such conversions. What are the key provisions of the act? Section 3 of this act prohibits the conversion of any place of worship, either in full or in part, from one religious denomination to another. Section 4, Part 1 mandates the religious identity of a place of worship must remain unchanged from its status on 15th August 1947. Any attempt to alter the religious character is prohibited. Section 4, Part 2 terminates all ongoing legal proceedings concerning the conversion of a place of worship religion's character prior to 15th August 1947 and prevents the initiation of new cases challenging the religious status of such places. So, it will also terminate any cases that were pending or any legal proceedings that were happening before 15th August 1947. Section 5 exceptions. The specific dispute at Ayodhya, that is Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi case, which was exempted from the act. That is why it is the most important. Section 5 एक specific section बनाया गया था exemption का, जिसके अंदर अयोध्या वाले केस को हमने exempt किया था. Besides the Ayodhya dispute, the act also exempted any place of worship which is an ancient historical monument or an archaeological site covered by the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958. Excuse me. So again, what is very important is that these are also exempted. Any archaeological site covered by Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958. Right? So then cases have already been resolved or settled by mutual agreement. Conversions that occurred before the act's commencement. Conversions that occurred before the act's commencement. Section 6 penalties. Okay, so the act establishes strict penalties for violations, including imprisonment of up to 3 years and fines for attempting to change the religious character of a place of worship. Supreme Court's interpretation. In May 2022, the Supreme Court noted that inquiries can be allowed into the religious character of places of worship as long as such inquiries don't lead to change in the religious character. You can inquire about it, but still you can inquire only until the religious character of the place remains unchanged. Okay, now what are the concerns regarding this Places of Worship Act 1991? Let's understand key problems kya hai. First is limit judicial review. Any law that prevents us to review that law again is a law that needs to be changed or needs to be looked after. This act has been challenged for limiting judicial review, potentially undermining the role of judiciary in resolving disputes. See, you have to understand, when a state is growing, the challenges and the things are always going to emanate from the laws that were previously made. These laws were made in a different time at a different place and using the current understanding of the situations. But as you grow, as the state grows and the country grows as a whole, these laws also need to change with time, and the judiciary needs to be equipped when resolving these disputes that arise when these laws are changed or shifted or modified, anything for that matter. Second is retrospective cutoff date. The Act's retrospective cutoff date of 15th August 1947 has been criticized as arbitrary and irrational, potentially infringing upon the rights of certain religious communities. Third, legal challenges. Multiple petitions have been filed against the Act, with petitioners arguing that it prevents Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and Sikhs from reclaiming places of worship they believe were invaded or encroached upon by historical rulers. You have to understand, India has a very, very vibrant past, and by vibrant, I also means a very cruel past, where Mughals and other, I could also say East India Company or Mughals, uh, they invaded, they looted, and they also, did many barbaric acts of, destroying the temples, the heritage, and the ancient architecture that was present in India. And because of this, the other communities like Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, and sects, they cannot reclaim anything that was present before 15th August 1947. And hence this cutoff date is very arbitrary, because everything that happened in the history of India happened before 15th August. So everyone needs to understand that, these communities also have a right to reclaim what was theirs from the beginning. Exemption from certain disputes. This is the fourth point. The exemption from Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid case from the Act has raised concerns about the inconsistency and the potential for selective legal treatment of certain disputes. Now, since Ram Janmabhoomi and the Babri Masjid case is a exemption from this Act, so again, there are inconsistencies in the Act itself. Fifth, rising communal tensions. The legal and the social debates surrounding the act are often intertwined with the broader communal issues. Critics argue that challenges to the act may exacerbate communal tensions, particularly when it comes to sensitive sites like mosques, temples, and churches. Impact on secularism. The act was intended to protect India's secular nature by preserving religious harmony, but the critics believe that it may inadvertently allow for the suppression of certain religious communities' claims to historical sites, thus undermining the secular fabric of the nation. Political and social implications. The act often invoked in political and religious debates, leading to concerns that religious issues could be used to stoke diversion or mobilize support for political causes. An eighth point is, some of the ongoing disputes have led to social unrest with protest and communal tensions erupting over religious site claims, reflecting the deep societal divide over such issues. You have to understand, again, why we are demanding for the law to change, modify, or amend is because the law was made when they wanted to protect the secular nature of this country. And now the problem is, the country is so polarized, or I should say, the people are getting or understanding their history, that they want to at least know what is happening and why was something that belonged to them is now not anymore, or not in the current state, can be used by them, which was earlier used by their forefathers. So when we talk about Mathura case, or when we talk about the Ayodhya case, we all knew that there was a temple inside it, because the remains proved it to be a temple. Now when converted into a mosque, the Hindus, it really, really, um, what should I say, polarized, or not polarized would be a wrong word, but it really enraged the Hindus that earlier that was something so religious and so pious and very important in their religion, is not being or cannot be used anymore. So this is what causes religious and communal tensions in the society. What is the way forward? um, Whenever you are writing the answers, this is the most important point that you have to understand. हम challenges बता देंगे, हम situation को समझ लेंगे, we'll understand the situation, but you are going to be awarded most number of marks based on your problem solving attitude and your skills. That is going to be reflected in your answers, right? So this is why the way forward, need for legal clarity. We need to have a legal clarity on this issue. We all know that Supreme Court is the last authority who's going to interpret this. Interpretation of the act provisions. There is pressing need for Supreme Court to provide clear and definitive guidance on the applicability of the Places of Worship Act. preventing local court overreach, the increasing frequency of local court interventions in sensitive religious matters calls for a closer examination of the jurisdictional limits of the lower courts. Third, the Supreme Court should assert its role in overseeing cases that may have wider social or political implications. Fourth, depoliticizing legal cases. Legal challenges on religious sites should be remain free from political influence to prevent misuse for ideological or electoral purposes, ensuring the judiciary's credibility and sanctity of religious institutions. Fifth, focusing on unity. Both political parties and civil society must prioritize unity over division. It's essential to emphasize the shared culture and historical heritage that binds India together, irrespective of the religion. Okay, so now just to give you a gist of what we have just done, we have understood the Places of Worship Act, we have understood the Shahi Jama Masjid dispute that is happening in the news lately. We have also understood the key provisions of the act and why judiciary or judicial review is very important in acts that were made earlier or laws that were passed before, and what is the solutions or the way forward for this. Now the question for everyone and each of you, if you want to practice this article and understand, get a deeper understanding of what you have just learned, practice this question: assess the role of judiciary in resolving disputes related to religious sites, particularly in the light of recent challenges in the Places of Worship Act. So this is very important question, and we would love to have you write the answers, upload it, share the link on the comment section so that everyone could understand and learn from what you have just written. Thank you everyone for watching this video. We would like to thank the writers of this article, and we would also link the article in the description below. This article was taken from Drishti IAS website. And yes, hope you had a great time learning this. Do watch the video again if you think anything is you really didn't understand it. And yes, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Do subscribe the channel. Thank you everyone.